Carlos Alcaraz has been vocal about his focus on Novak Djokovic as the 2023 tennis season nears its end. Carlos Alcaraz recently suffered another disappointing exit after outlining his quest to surpass Novak Djokovic for the #1 ranking. The Spaniard has already looked ahead to his next opportunity to make up some ranking points following his defeat in Shanghai. But Alcaraz's fixation on reclaiming the top spot could backfire and see him become burned out and potentially injured. The 20-year-old has already experienced something similar at the same stage of the 2022 season. After achieving his biggest goals, reaching world #1 and winning a Grand Slam title at the US Open, he crashed out in his opening match at the Astana Open before losing in the Basel semifinal. Alcaraz then picked up an abdominal injury at the Paris Masters, retiring from his match and ending his season early. He went on to miss the ATP Finals and the Australian Open. And he will want to avoid overplaying and causing another physical issue that could potentially derail his schedule for the coming weeks. The world #2 has 3 events left for the rest of the year: the Swiss indoors Basel, the Paris Masters and the ATP Finals. After crashing out to Grigor Dimitrov in Shanghai, he was already assessing his hopes of ascending the rankings at his last few tournaments. "It's going to be tougher, if I want to be #1. I have a few tournaments ahead. So I'll try to do my best," Alcaraz said, later confirming his intentions to play in Switzerland. He added, "I have to practice 100% in these weeks before Basel. That's the next tournament for me, so I'll try to make my best in that tournament." As well as the danger of overplaying and burning out or getting injured, Alcaraz may want to reassess the amount of focus he is putting on his goal of surpassing Djokovic and returning to #1. The 20-year-old has openly admitted to fixating on his quest in recent weeks. "It's something that I keep in mind every time I am training. I think about it in every tournament," he said ahead of the recent China Open in Beijing. Before his opening match at the Shanghai Masters, Alcaraz also told Tennis TV, "I'm not going to lie. I practice with a goal, I go to the tournaments with a goal. It's trying to end the year as #1, so Novak Djokovic is around my mind almost in every practice." Alcaraz's honesty about his goals is refreshing, but retired tennis legend Jimmy Connors recently warned Alcaraz that focusing too much on Djokovic could leave him vulnerable to other opponents who play differently and could still cause him trouble in matches. And the American has been proven right so far, with Alcaraz losing to Dimitrov and Jannik Sinner over the last 2 weeks. The 12-time title winner has already shown that he can take lessons from his losses, however, something that will help him in his bid for world #1 and beyond. Alcaraz was open about his struggles with his mentality during his loss to Sinner and said he got too angry in the second set, losing 7-6, 4-6, 1. But it was his mental toughness that helped him defeat Dan Evans in a tight 2-setter in Shanghai earlier this week after he learned from his mistakes in Beijing. The world #2 will now be hoping to do the same after picking up on his faults during his loss to Dimitrov. "I think that's a point that it's tough for me. You know, after the first set, when I win the first set, more or less. It's tough for me to keep the focus at the beginning of the second set," he said after the match. He might fare better if he focuses slightly less on Djokovic and the #1 spot.